Hello, Patreon supporters. It's Ralph. We have another trailer to break down. It's going to be the Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi final trailer. This went up a couple days ago. And once again, I'm going to be going forward, back, skipping, stopping, pausing, and going through frame by frame on certain shots. So if you haven't seen it, head over to youtube.com/Star Wars. They have the full HD version. And I say we get into it. Let's start. Okay, so right off the bat, we have Kylo Ren standing over what looks, I thought, was something being constructed because of the sparks falling down. It's either an assembly line, but it looks more like they're prepping the AT-ATs for war. You can see the ships right here. They look like AT-AT transports, which we haven't seen before. And here are more AT-ATs lined up on the side. Wow, it's really cool.
When I found you, I saw raw, untamed power.
Okay, so that sounds like Snoke. He's possibly talking to, I'm assuming, Kylo Ren. But who knows? He could be talking to anybody. But yeah, this sounds like we're getting Snoke. Here are the new AT-ATs. They kind of crawl like the feet look like gorillas or something, and they look a lot bulkier. So they must be more heavily armored. We also have up here Kylo Ren's transport from the first film leading the charge. And that red clay is coming up from the ground. We've seen that in other trailers with the speeders. And it looks like we have a couple different AT-ATs. These are big, heavy AT-ATs with the cannons on top. But if you look right here, there's a smaller AT-AT. Maybe the traditional AT-AT. But yeah, it looks like there's definitely two different size AT-ATs. And then we have Kylo Ren leading some stormtroopers. They have the dust capes, kind of like the snowtrooper, and backpacks. They kind of look similar to snowtroopers, but I guess we'll get a better shot in the film. But it looks like they're going into some sort of a lava area. Maybe it's Mustafar? Doubt it. But who knows? It's pretty cool.
And beyond that, something truly special.
Okay, so here we have Kylo Ren. He's in this red room. And if you look on the shot of him picking up the lightsaber, I used to think there was a visor there, but it doesn't look like there's a visor there now. But as you look in the room, you see the figures of red cloaked individuals, and you can see the reflection there. You see their feet, and they have the red cloaks. I think we've seen the toys of these sort of like new Imperial guards. I'm assuming they're Snoke's guards. So that's pretty cool. His lightsaber looks a little bit different. It looks a little more refined. It still has that red wire. It looks like he's got new housing on it, more black. That's pretty neat.
Something truly special.
Okay, so here's the island. We saw Rey with the lightsaber, so it looks like she's going to be training with the lightsaber that used to belong to Luke and Anakin. And we're on the island. And my favorite part about this sequence is at the end of The Force Awakens, there was a new theme for the movie. It wasn't Rey's theme, it wasn't Luke's theme, it wasn't any of the themes we heard before. It was this theme where she was walking up to the steps. I believe it's on the last track of the soundtrack album. And this is a new version, a new rendition of that theme, which I really, really like, and I hope it plays in the movie. I'm hoping it's more like a Luke and Rey theme.
Something inside me has always been there.
So she says, something inside me's always been there. So she's always felt the Force, but didn't know what it was. She's kind of confused about it. And now she's with Luke, and Luke's obviously going to teach her the ways of the Force, not necessarily teach her the ways of the Jedi. I think Luke has had a long time to meditate, and he's going to want to learn more about becoming one with the Force and bringing balance to the Force without tying it to a religion like the Jedi. So this is Luke's hand. It's pretty cool looking. I don't know if it looks different from The Force Awakens, but we get to see it a lot closer. The little servos and stuff. It has a really good effect too. And there he is holding his lightsaber, which was his father's before him. He also struck... That's where he lost his hand too. So he's probably just wondering where it came from, or how she got it, and why she's here, but we'll find out.
Always been there. But now.
So here's a shot of Rey. I don't know if this is the island, but with all the fog and stuff, it looks like she's going on her own journey. Probably similar to the tree cave in Empire Strikes Back. It looks like she's walking towards what looks like a petrified forest or petrified trees, and then in the next shot we see her inside what looks like a tree where she heads towards those books. So this might be a really powerful place with the Force, like the mystical tree in The Empire Strikes Back.
But now it's awake.
So yeah, this looks like she's in a tree. And there's a small shelf with light coming through, and then there's like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books. 8 books. Maybe these are Journal of the Wills. I don't know. That was set up in Rogue One, so it'd be cool to see that. But yeah, it looks like she's entering this tree.
But now it's awake. And I need help.
I've seen this raw strength only once before. It didn't scare me enough then. It does now.
Okay, so he says he's only seen this raw strength once before. It didn't scare him then, but it scares him now. So I'm assuming that means Kylo Ren. Unless he's talking about Darth Vader. He says he wasn't afraid then. I know Yoda says he needs to confront Vader. He says he's not afraid. Yoda says, you will be. So I don't know if the raw strength is Darth Vader. Because that would be cool. I don't think it's Kylo Ren. Because I feel like Kylo Ren is weak. So I'm thinking the raw strength is Anakin. He saw it before. He wasn't afraid. He was able to confront Vader. But seeing the kind of power Rey has, he's definitely concerned. So let's take a look at some of these shots. She breaks the ground that they're standing on. Luke is afraid. She's meditating. The ground breaks. I wonder if this is going to send this cliff off the side. Here she is meditating some more. It looks like she still has the blaster that Han Solo gave her. So she's still using a blaster. And then Luke is in some room, and I'm not sure what this is right here. It reminds me of the light in Lost, or like where the crystal is in the Dark Crystal. So maybe this is all part of this island. This is some sort of source of power.
Raw strength only once before. It didn't scare me enough then.
So he's telling this story, and we got more footage from Rey's flash in the last episode. So is this a flashback? Are we seeing another Force flashback? Are we just going to get a straight up flashback in a Star Wars movie? I know we got it in Rogue One, but in the saga films, we normally don't see flashbacks. So this might be a first. And then we see wood. I don't know if we've seen structures just made of like 2x4s and stuff. So that's interesting. And clearly Luke has failed. He's going down on his knees, which we saw in episode 7. He's there with R2. I believe this is where he puts his hand on R2 and then gives him the map.
It does now.
Let the past die.
So it looks like here's our first shot of Kylo Ren with his sort of scar band-aid. This is like a Star Wars band-aid or something. It's kind of cool looking. It looks a little mechanical. It looks a little bit like chainmail. It looks woven. So that's interesting. And then we see him looking at what he's become, staring at his mask straight in the face, and he's still got his anger issues, so he clocks it into the thing. So is he done with it? Is he done with the dark side? Or is he just becoming more full of rage?
Kill it.
So it looks like there's an attack on the Rebel fleet or the Resistance fleet. We have a couple of troop transports. We have a medical frigate, which is an updated version. They look really cool. I'm glad that those ships are still in the Star Wars universe. And it looks like we have Kylo Ren's new TIE fighter. It looks like an interceptor. And he's being escorted by 2 regular TIE fighters. And he's flying to attack this resistance ship. And he's got his thumb on the trigger already, so he's pretty trigger happy. So here we have the Rebel convoy or fleet, and behind we could see the Star Destroyer, Kylo Ren's Super Star Destroyer, in the background. So it looks like they just ambushed this convoy, and he's just going to town. Wow. And the way this makes look,
If you have to. That's the only way to become what you were meant to be.
okay, so we're meant to believe that he's come to kill Princess Leia. He's got his finger on the trigger. He's ready to do it. He looks conflicted. And it looks like Leia senses his presence. And they may be communicating through the Force. It might be unspoken. But we saw that at the end of Empire Strikes Back. When Luke was aboard the Falcon talking to Vader. Wow. It's pretty crazy. Got some Mon Calamari in the back. Wow. That's pretty intense. Oh yeah, we're going to stop here for a second. Let's go back and look at some of these shots. So there's a lot of red in this movie. And I know the poster has a lot of red in it. I wondered if this is underneath that planet with the white surface with the red clay underneath. It seems like it, or if this is a third planet. But we have a Falcon chase inside a rock canyon, which is reminiscent of the Empire Strikes Back. Wow, that's really cool. All right, here we go. Let's. I'm gonna watch this for a second, and then we're gonna do a quick pause. All right, guys. Can we talk about porgs? They're such a big deal. I don't know what role they play in the movie. Nobody knows what role they play in the movie. People like them because they're cute, but people hate Ewoks because they're cute. I've always liked Ewoks. If you listen to the latest Patreon episode where I talk about Caravan of Courage, I love the Ewoks. I'm fine with the Ewoks. I've always been fine with the Ewoks. I never turned my back on the Ewoks once. I don't know about porgs yet. I don't know what their role is in the movie. In this shot, it looks like one of them has made it onto the Falcon. I don't know if this is from the scene that we just saw here. I don't know if this is them leaving the Jedi Island. It's out of context, but it makes it look like that Chewbacca is flying on a mission with a Porg. I just don't know yet. I'm not going to make a judgment on the Porgs until I see the movie. I will say one thing, though. If you're going to win me over, make the Porg screech like Mothra, which is what Rian Johnson did. And I like that part of it. So the jury's out, but I like the way the Porg sounds. So we have, I'm going to look at this first. Another space battle with the space cruiser getting exploded. Looks like Poe Dameron's on a ship in this battle. He better get to a fighter quick. But let's go ahead and listen to the dialogue.
We have a spark that'll light the fire that'll burn the First Order down. Come on!
So we have a spark that'll bring the First Order down. I'm assuming he's talking about Rey. He's treating her like a secret weapon. We get footage here. Let's see here. Take a look here. So we have Poe. Looks like he has a new helmet. It's got a sleeker visor. Looks like they're doing an attack on a Star Destroyer over a planet, which is cool. And then we have Poe here, and in the background is looks like what's her name, Billie Lourd, who is the Carrie Fisher's daughter. She's in The Force Awakens. It looks like she may have a bigger role, or she may be more prominent. That's pretty cool. And here we have Phasma. She's taking out a staff. Man, she's cool looking. I hope they give her more to do. I'm assuming they are. There's some dead troopers in the background and explosions. It looks like this place is just exploding all around Finn and Phasma. And Finn's got one of those lightning rod things that he had the lightsaber duel in the Force Awakens. And he's going to be battling Phasma. It looks like he's gone undercover as a First Order agent. I don't recognize his uniform. I don't see any sort of ranking on it. Not that I'd be able to know. I don't know what rankings get what colors, but... Come on! So look at this. There's this shit blowing up all around him. There's TIE fighters falling. There's AT-ATs hanging. There's troopers. There's AT-STs. So they look like they're in the bridge of a exploding Star Destroyer. So he's gonna have to pilot out of there. But he'd have to get up to one of the TIE fighters up here, hanging from the rafters, or possibly one of these off to the side. Wow, that's really cool. And look, you can see all those explosions in Phasma's armor. So ILM really had to do a number on that armor to make all those explosions line up. Wow, that's really cool. These stormtroopers firing. Wow. Oh, and look at the lightning from Finn's nightstick going up Phasma's arm. Going up her arm and down her body. Wow. Wow, that's cool. That should be exciting. That's something I missed in the first one. I wish that Phasma fought Finn. Oh, look at that. You can see Finn's reflection in her helmet. Wow, that's really cool.
This is not...
So more space battles. Frigate exploding. It's a different looking frigate. TIE fighters. Looks like BB-8 gets shocked. Wow. Let's listen to the dialogue.
This is not going to go the way you think.
Okay, lot to do. So this is not going to go the way you think. I don't know who he's talking to. Is he talking to Kylo Ren? Is this a flashback? Is he talking to Rey? Is he talking to Snoke? He could be talking to anyone. It looks like he's on the island still. So we'll see. Oh man. Hope Luke doesn't die in this one, because they're already setting up that Carrie Fisher or Princess Leia is going to die. So I need more Luke. I need way more Luke. So these things are cool. These like crystal dogs in a huge kind of mining facility. It looks like there's ash or snow. And if we look back here, there's some red. So maybe that lava stuff that we saw Kylo Ren and the troopers walking into is this base here. Maybe the crystal stuff with the red was inside here as well. Like it's some sort of mining facility. But it looks like these crystal dogs are taking sanctuary inside this building. So they must be working with whoever's in here. I'm not sure. But they kind of remind me of the dogs from the Chronicles of Riddick. There's these kind of crystal dogs. And I think I mentioned that before. But then we get a shot here where you have a cloaked figure. It looks like it could be Luke, could be Snoke. But it looks like the door's closing in on them, possibly. Got Leia in her kind of Blade Runner collar thing. She looks awesome. And then we have Rey diving. And then meeting Luke. Are these different scenes? Are these the same scenes? I don't know. It's so tough seeing all this stuff out of context. We'll definitely get into that in a little bit.
Think. Fulfill your destiny.
Okay. Fulfill your destiny coming from Snoke. We've heard of Fulfill Your Destiny before from Darth Vader. We have Finn in disguise as a First Order captain or something. some sort of First Order officer. And then we have another bridge. It might be that same Death Star or Star Destroyer that we saw collapsing. We have flame troopers, snow troopers of some sort. They have different helmets. Regular First Order troopers. And once again, we have the hanging TIE fighter, AT-ATs, ATSTs. That's cool. More shots of this battle beginning. Now TIE fighters have joined the fight. And the red clay popping up from the explosions from the laser bolts. These guys, I like their eyes. TIE fighter explosions. These sort of like land speeder pod things are pretty cool. They kind of look like B-Wings a little bit. And they have these little things that stir up the ground. Maybe it's for like plowing. Because it seems like they're doing some sort of mining. But I can see these as being like a plow. These look really cool. And then we get our first look at Snoke. Not as a hologram. He actually looks pretty good. The skin textures are real nice. I think he looks a lot better than Tarkin. Which, by the way, he looks like Tarkin. But I think he looks really good. He's got that gold robe, which was mentioned that the Emperor wore a gold robe in the original Lee Brackett draft of Empire Strikes Back. So that's, Rian Johnson playing homage to previous Star Wars. And it looks like, here's that gold cloak again. So it looks like he is captured Rey. And she's in pain. So this character, Snoke, has some sort of force powers. Wow.
I need someone to show me my place in all this.
Okay, so it ends with the Force theme. I need my place. I need someone to show me my place in all of this. Is this the same scene? Is she talking to Luke? Did they cut away to Kylo Ren? Is it misleading? Is she joining the dark side? Is he joining the light side? If they are coming together, is it to defeat Snoke? Is it to defeat Luke? Is Luke evil? Is this setting up the third movie? If these two get together, I feel like that could either be a cliffhanger. It's so much to put in a trailer, like 2 months before the movie comes out, to be like these two are teaming up. So I feel like it should be misleading.
To show me my place in all this.
I don't know, guys. I'm excited. I can't wait. I don't care about porgs. I care about the characters. I care about Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia. And man, I'm excited to see where this goes. Movie's coming out soon, October or December 15th. I've got my tickets for that Thursday night, which I think is the 14th. Gotta make sure I put in a vacation day so I don't have to work that night. But boy, I can't wait. I'm glad it looks different enough where it doesn't just look like The Empire Strikes Back. It looks like there's some sort of similarities. But what was great about Empire Strikes Back was it kind of built on what it is to be a Jedi and Jedi training and the mystical aspects of the Force. And so it looks like this still has some of that in it, but it's taking the story and characters in a different direction, which I guess was the main complaint from Star Wars fans with The Force Awakens, was it felt almost like beat for beat A New Hope. This doesn't feel like beat for beat The Empire Strikes Back, but we'll see what happens when it comes out. I'm more excited for this movie than I ever was. This trailer was awesome. It was great. And thanks for watching with me. Thanks for your support. And I will see you shortly. I have more podcasts planned just for you guys. And until next time, may the Force be with you.